And you're all dismissed. Thank you. How do we follow that, Andrew? Wow. Nice job to all our speakers, and congratulations to all of you, graduates in 2019, soon to be graduates. Hang in there. It's my pleasure today, the superintendent, to introduce our guest speaker. She is Jackie Pickler Leskowich, who was raised in Pigeon and graduated from Laker High in 1988. She served in the Air Force for 23 years, including 4 combat tours. On one tour in Afghanistan, she received an Army Medal of Commendation for providing treatment to a security guard after an IED explosion. She began her career by enlisting, then later earned her commission. She currently works for a Department of Defense contractor, Booz Allen Hamilton. While in the Air Force, she earned an associate's degree in maintenance, production, and management, a bachelor's degree in accounting, and a master's degree in cost analysis. Let's give a warm Laker welcome to Mrs. Jackie Pickler Leskowich.
Pretty close right now. All right, we're good here. Good evening, parents, grandparents, family, friends, and class of 2019. Let me start by saying thank you to the faculty and staff, school administration, Board of Education, and most importantly, all of you for allowing me to participate in such a significant milestone event. I cannot describe how honored I felt when Mr. Good asked me to speak at such a commendable occasion. As each one of these young men and women approach the stage, we will witness a tremendous life change. Society will stop considering you as high school kids and begin viewing you as young adults. For lack of better words, that is pretty darn cool to witness. But admittedly, when I first received Mr. Good's phone call about speaking this evening, I thought, there must be some mistake. Why would this class want to hear from me at all? What could I possibly offer you? But during my teen years, I was a hot mess, rebellious and graduated by the skin of my teeth. I can still remember sitting where you are today, praying, oh dear Lord, let that diploma be signed. And then, when I explained this to my sister-in-law in my apprehension about being unqualified for this honor, she was quick to note my less than stellar school record at Lakers was not an accurate prediction of my future potential or likelihood to succeed. God bless her. It is what I've done with my life after graduation that makes the story worth telling. After that conversation, and a quick reflection of the past 31 years since my graduation, I realized I do have a success story, albeit non-traditional in the sense I didn't go to college right after high school and follow a career path in that trajectory. Instead, I joined the Air Force, which led me to greater success and experiences I never could have imagined. With that said, over the next hour or so, I'm going to share chapters of my successes. I promised to Mr. Good told me 10 minutes, and I do not want to go to the principal's office, because I got a lot of hours in there from previous experience here. So I'm kidding. Not going to be an hour, trust me. But I'm going to keep this short. To the point, I don't want to get sent to his office. So, I'm going to share 10 lessons, short ones, learned that contributed to my success. I am confident these lessons will do the same for you. Lastly, I have a small memento to give each of you at the end of this mentorship moment. And just to manage expectations, the memento has nothing to do with paying for your college education like Morehouse College graduates received from their commencement speaker last week. I am still a long way from building your status. The first chapter in my success story starts right here at Lakers, class of 1988. Unfortunately, the only academic success I experienced was graduating. And that may have been partly because the teachers did not want me back. I did nothing in school worth bragging about. I I skipped classes, got into a lot of trouble, and just had a terrible attitude towards school. But I did have a lot of fun. However, I had a great work ethic. It began when I was about 10. I delivered newspapers, detasseled corn, hoed beans, and by the time I was a teenager, I was working 3 jobs. I picked eggs at Heck's Farm just down the road from here, and before I had a driver's license, I rode my bike 2.5 miles each way to the coops, 7 days a week because chickens don't take weekends off from laying eggs. And from coops, I go home and get ready for my shift at the pizzeria and babysat on the weekends. These jobs were necessary because my family experienced many years of financial strain and hardship. Even though I didn't realize it at the time, I was already experiencing success through some very real-life lessons, such as hard work always pays off. I paid for half of my braces, bought my first car to include maintenance, insurance, gas, school clothes, and supplies, while also contributing to household expenses such as groceries and utilities. All these things would not have been possible without my financial support. I was quite self-sufficient by the time I turned 16. Money and praise were my motivators. The more I received, the harder I worked. Consequently, I also learned to work smarter, not harder. By the time I graduated, I knew education, certification, or a trade skill is necessary if I wanted more career choices than working at a minimum wage job until I was 75. However, I feared going to college because quite honestly, I was pretty sure I would have partied my way right out of there and left with nothing but a huge debt and no degree. Therefore, the military seemed like the best option. They guaranteed to pay for my college. I just needed to decide on the branch of service. I watched Full Metal Jacket and quickly scratched the Marines off my list. After watching their boot camp, I was convinced that I didn't need an education that bad. I'm good. Then I rolled up the Navy because one of their uniforms had bell bottoms. I laugh now that I made such a life-altering decision based on a fashion statement. The Army was an option, but the Air Force recruiter had a better sales pitch and I entered the Air Force through delayed enlistment. While waiting to leave for basic training, I married Jim, my high school sweetheart, been together since we were 16, whom I'm still happily married to today. During this 12-month waiting period, I worked my way up to middle management at the Village Pizzeria, making $4 an hour. Although I was thankful for the job, and it did pay more than the minimum wage at that time, which was $3.35, working in a hot box dealing with crabby customers just reaffirmed my decision to join the military and get an education. After boot camp, Jim and I packed up everything we owned into a small U-Haul trailer and drove 17 hours across country to my first duty station. We were 2 19-year-olds determined to make it on our own. My time in the military marked a new chapter in my success story. I credit the Air Force with writing most of the chapters. It demanded a lot from me for 23 years. The Air Force put me in some very dangerous situations and asked me to make many family sacrifices, but the return on investment was enormous. It is responsible for turning me into someone my family can be proud of, afforded me a graduate level education, trained me to lead, to follow, and have respect for authority, plus so much more. More importantly, the Air Force taught me how blessed I am to be an American. To prove this point, the Air Force sent me to countries like Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia, North Korea. I can attest, we live in the best country, a free country. The chapters in my success story are getting shorter now. I've achieved many of my goals and I'm happy and I'm in a happy place. I'm married to my best friend, have 2 fantastic kids, a loving family. We have a beautiful home on 40 acres, living debt-free, and I will quit my job next week to spend more time with our kids. Life just doesn't get any better than that. Now my focus will be on mentoring and guiding our kids to grow up and be successful, however they choose to find their success and write their own story. More importantly than my success story, there are 65 success stories sitting here right in front of me right now. And I hope to read your next chapter someday. But for now, let's just speculate what may be in a few of those chapters. Private James Dukes will be Army strong, defending our country. James, thank you very much in advance for your service. Mechanical engineer Grant Gasho, perhaps you will patent some systems design that will make our lives easier. Robotic engineer Tyler Shea, maybe your work will provide new and improved prosthetics for children. Dr. Andrew Davis will benefit world food security through biotechnological solutions. Pharmacist Claire Tate will be the one to answer all your questions about prescriptions and medicines. Nurse assistant Cheyenne Muntz will provide care and compassion for you or perhaps a loved one. Others plan on working for the wind turbine company, DTE as a lineman, a couple will study music and communications. Perhaps there are one or two economists or lawyers here as well. The list and potential for all of you is endless. Undeniably, this class has demonstrated how to be successful. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. I commend all of you for your achievements, whether it was in academics, extracurricular activities. 8 of you were recognized as one of the top 50 students within Huron County. Your valedictorian set a goal in 3rd grade to never earn any grade less than an A+ for the rest of his academic career and achieved that goal. It wasn't a wish, it was a lot of hard work and perseverance. But it doesn't matter if you graduated as number 1 or number 65 in your class. You are graduating, therefore you have succeeded. But you are just beginning to write your success story. So let me offer my top 10 lessons learned to keep in mind when writing your next chapter. Number 1, you define your success. It looks different to everyone. Only you can determine whether you're successful. No one else determines that for you. There is no checklist you must complete before you can officially be considered successful. For me, success is visualizing where or what you want to be by setting short and long-term goals, developing a game plan, then working hard and persevering to accomplish those goals. And if at the end of all of that, you are a better person than you were yesterday, and you are pleased with the person you are today, then consider yourself successful. Number 2, plan for your success. It is your roadmap and doesn't happen by accident. Benjamin Franklin said it best when he stated, "If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail." Number 3, perseverance is a critical trait. It took me 10 years of night school to earn my bachelor's degree. I always laughed during that scene in the movie Tommy Boy when Chris Farley is so proud of himself for graduating college with a bachelor's degree after 7 years. And then David Spade is quick to point out that people who go to college for 7 years are usually called doctors. And I know it sounds bad to say that it took me 10 years to earn a 4-year degree, but it wasn't frat parties that slowed me down. It was juggling a full-time job, deployments, and family time with demanding course schedules. Nonetheless, perseverance was key to achieving my goal. 4, there's no minimum dollar threshold that must be met to qualify for success. Having a 6 or even a 7-figure income is not an automatic qualification for success. Look at Hollywood. There's a lot of multimillionaires out there and whose lives are in complete shambles. In my opinion, having enough money is part of my success equation. Having enough money to own a nice house or a home, and having enough money to raise my kids in a safe area. Enough money to save for retirement so I can live out my golden years independently. Enough money to never argue with my spouse about spending too much money on hamburger at the grocery store. And enough money to be able to spend quality time with my family, help others in need, and make a lifetime of memories. Number 5, you can't just tell your boss you're a good employee, you must show your value. 6 months ago, I wasn't looking for a new job, but I ended up with one. A previous coworker from another company called and offered me a job. And she said she needed me on her team. Through our previous working relationship, she saw the value my work and performance could bring to her company. It wasn't written on a resume, it was actually showing my value. You are never just anybody. You are never just a parent. I used to have young troops who came to me and said, I am just a one-striper. The work I do, it doesn't matter like that of someone with a lot of stripes and experience. I would explain to them every position in the Air Force supports the mission. If that one striper cook didn't prepare boxed lunches for pilots, then the pilots couldn't eat. And if pilots aren't eating, they're hungry. And if they're hungry, they can't fly. And flying is our mission, therefore we have mission failure. The same holds true for civilians. I've been told one of you is going to be a lineman for DTE. Don't be just a lineman. Do not treat that title as if it's not a very important job. You will be responsible for providing power to entire cities. Schools, hospitals, banks all depend on you to support the community. Madison Breezemeister, I understand you're going to become a cosmetologist. Be that stylist who's in such demand it takes months to get on your calendar because you are proud of what you do and have a very important job. Can you imagine what proms and weddings would look like without cosmetologists? Cheyenne Muntz, I read you're on your way to becoming a certified nursing assistant. You play such an important and necessary role in our society. The elderly often depend on you when Alzheimer's has robbed them of knowing how to dress themselves, or the quadriplegic who cannot feed and bathe himself. What would we do without nursing assistants? While some of these types of occupations are not very glamorous, they are equally as important as a lawyer who visits Madison for a haircut. Hope is not a strategy. Hope is believing that something good can come out of something bad. It's really nothing more than a wish. If you want to be successful, you need a plan. Every night, I hope my kids will get up from the dinner table and start doing dishes without being told. Let me tell you, it's just a wish. It's not going to happen without a plan. Number 8, never pass up an opportunity. It typically only knocks on your door once. 9, God willing, you're going to get old. Start investing and saving today for retirement tomorrow. We began investing when we were 19 years old. Each of our monthly base pay was $646 for the month, and we bought $50 savings bonds every month. Our investment strategy later changed as we became more knowledgeable on investing, but 30 years later, we are 49 years old and debt-free. And just for the record, when I was 19, I thought 30 was old. I've since rescinded that notion, and you too will be 49 someday, and it's going to happen in a blink of an eye. And lastly, number 10, don't ever be late for anything. It's just plain rude and disrespectful. I suggest you follow this rule of thumb. 10 minutes early is on time, and on time is late. With that said, I don't want you to be late for your graduation, so I will close by saying this. Ladies and gentlemen, you are the author of your success story. Make it one that will make you happy and your family proud. Before I leave, I'd like to give you a small memento that my kids are going to come over and hand out to each of you. They are bookmarks I designed to place after each chapter in your success stories. Each side includes a few quick reminders from today that will help guide you for your future successes. I've told you a lot because I've learned a lot and wish you the same success. I realize you may forget I was ever here or the message that was told, so if you get nothing more out of what I've told you, remember this. Hope is not a strategy. It takes hard work and perseverance to be successful. This is your graduation weekend, but is being shared with Memorial Day. Please take time during your celebrations to remember all those men and women who paid the ultimate price that allow all of us the freedom to decide what we want to be when we grow up. Thank you, God bless, and Godspeed.